Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for attending our call today. My name is Danielle Cameron. I'm the Vice President of Sales here. I think most of you know who I am, have spoken to me, or received emails, probably lots of emails from me. The reason we're doing this call today is I have been watching clients that have escalated to me for concerns and understanding their accounts. And this is probably one of the most important things that we discuss, and probably one of the most helpful things that I think our clients find after talking on the call with me. Today we're going to be talking about Google Plus Local, which you guys probably call Google Maps. And we're going to be talking about how to gauge your results on this. Currently, our clients, the only way that they can actually gauge their results from Google Maps is to look at ranking. So whether you're ranking first for a keyword that you know is important to your business will determine on how you think we are doing on our end. The problem is on our end, what we're looking for and what we're tracking most importantly is the activity. If I know that a keyword is going to generate more activity and more phone calls for you than another keyword, then our support team is going to be going after that keyword instead and trying to drive business. I think the disconnect that we have is that our clients can't see what we can see. And so what we're going to do today is walk you through how to understand Google My Business, how to use the reporting features that Google has, because we can send you reports every month, but our reports are never going to be as good as Google's reports. And then at the end of this call, we'll give you the opportunity to be able to reach out to our support team to be able to get your logins. You can log in and you can look at your accounts yourself directly. We're actually one of the few vendors that are out there that give our clients direct access to the accounts. And we set it up that way because we feel that it's important that we are acting as a manager on your account and not as the business owner. This is your business. This is your business listing. You've trusted us to work on it, but at the end of the day, it is still your business listing, and you should still have full access to see everything that we see. All of our accounts are set up that way. I think just most of our clients don't realize it. So Colan is our digital marketing manager. He's kind of our guru when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I'll let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him. And then he's going to do a live demo and walk through of this. We are recording this presentation, so if you guys are thinking you have to take notes and write it all down and remember everything we have to say, don't worry. We'll send out our live recording to anybody who asks for it afterwards, so you can view it again if you need to and check back and be able to log in. And as Colin says, if you do have questions, feel free to use the little question box there, and we'll take the questions at the end of his presentation.
Thanks, Danielle. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the webinar today. My name is Colan. I'm the Digital Marketing Manager here at Imprezzio. I'm also a Google My Business top contributor, which means that Google has recognized me as a product expert when it comes to their Google My Business product. And that has been achieved through volunteer work, spending time with business owners at the Google My Business forums, helping them troubleshoot issues, and generally just trying to help them figure out how to make sense of all this Google My Business, Google Places, Google Maps, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so let's get right into it. I'll give you a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you right inside the Google My Business dashboard and show you the different components. So there's a main section where you will see an overview of all the smaller components. There's an edit section, a Google Plus sharing section, there's a review section, and last and certainly not least, probably the most important section for trying to gauge your ROI and to extract data will be the insights section. And then lastly, I'm going to take you through the different places where you can actually locate Google Plus Local pages these days. It's certainly not just the main page of Google Search or Google Maps. With the increase in apps like the Google Plus Local apps, there's many other places where clients or potential customers can actually find you these days. and then Danielle will finish off with some closing remarks. So I'm going to start right from the very beginning. And before I log into the Google My Business dashboard, I just want to clarify exactly what it is we're talking about today for anyone that's not 100% clear. So this is a search results page, and it's made up of different components. You have the paid or sponsored ads at the top. You have the organic results, which are down below. And then sandwiched in between, you have what's known as the Google Plus Local or Google Places results. And each one of these results represents a business location and a Google Plus Local page. So if I was to click through this first result here, I can get right to the Google Plus page. It would take me here. This is what we're talking about today. So this is the consumer-facing page that all your customers ultimately see when they get to your page, where they can see your cover photo and your business description, reviews, click through to your website, and all that kind of stuff. What I'm going to be taking you on a tour of is the Google My Business dashboard, which is the back end where all the data is collected and changes can be made and all that good stuff. So this is where you generally want to log in to your Google My Business account. It's the simplest access door, if you will, and it's www.google.com/business. And you just sign in with your account. And in this case, I'm already signed in. Once you're inside your Google My Business dashboard, which I will most likely refer to as your GMB dashboard for the rest of the presentation, you will see the main dashboard. And it's made up of a few different components. You have the main section at the top where you can, at a glance, you can have a look at how many followers your page has, what the phone number listed in your account is, your hours of operation, the primary category, your business description, website, and of course your address. Down here it will show you a few snippets of some of the photos that you're currently using. Gives you an option to add a few more photos. And what's really cool is Google has incorporated the virtual tours right into the dashboard now. So this particular business does have a tour already installed, so you can see this photo here. If I was to click through to this, it would take me on an actual virtual tour of the business. If this particular business hadn't already signed up for the virtual tours, it would have a link that would link you to a Google page where you could locate a Google virtual tour photographer in your area. Some of the other components that I'm going to go into, we have the Insights dashboard, we have a Reviews dashboard, and we also have a Google Plus sharing feature dashboard. And I'm actually going to start right at the top, and we'll work our way down. So on the main section here, if I wanted to make any changes to my page as far as photos, the name, address, phone number, categories, I would click through with my red edit button here. And what's really important to know these days, and this is part of the reason why we have a big team here that's constantly logging into these accounts on a monthly basis, is Google is now actually making automatic edits within the dashboards. So if a bot comes along and looks inside your dashboard and determines that the formatting of your business name is not lining up or they don't agree with the way it's formatted, they'll go ahead and change it. Same goes with your address. We've seen Google automatically edit out suite numbers or add in incorrect suite numbers. So we monitor that all the time so we can get in there and make sure that we're correcting any mistakes, if you will, that Google makes. So we have the option to edit the business name, the address, your main contact information in terms of your phone number, website, email address. Down here, there is a category section where you can select up to 10 different categories. Previously, in the old dashboards, you could have custom categories, but with the new dashboards, they're all pre-selected, so you have to choose from one of Google's options. We also have the ability to change our business hours. We can change our photos. And down here, Google refers to the section as the introduction. And essentially all that is your business description that appears on your live Google Plus local page that your customers would see. One thing I wanted to point out, this is something that our team uses all the time to help you get a better understanding of how your page looks in the different elements of Google, is this section down here. And with one click, you can automatically navigate to your listing on Google Maps, the live page itself, or this one here, which would actually take you to a live Google search result for the brand itself. So in this case, it would be for Allstate, Laura Harris. It throws on the address there. And what I wanted to point out about this, which is really interesting, is this guy on the right side. A lot of people don't know what this thing is actually referred to as, and it's known as the local knowledge graph or the local knowledge panel. And it's essentially a compilation of your items that come off your Google Plus local page, so your address, your reviews, all that kind of stuff. And occasionally you will incorporate this data with other sources on the web from organic search, various websites such as Wikipedia and stuff like that. And it's very important because it's such an important piece of real estate. There is a lot of optimization that can be done behind it. So our team is paying attention to these things, making sure that they have the review showing the proper address, checking out the review snippets to make sure it's what we want to be appearing. And we definitely always check the section down here where it has more reviews, because more often than not, we'll find pages that have where Google has incorrectly associated some listing with the listing that we're working on, which can have a negative impact. So again, this is referred to as the local knowledge graph. So moving on to the next section in the GMB dashboard, it's the insights. We find this is probably, arguably, the most important part of the dashboard, because this is where you can extract your return on investment in a lot of senses, how your page is actually doing and the type of activity it's getting. So let's just click through. And Google breaks it down into 4 main sections. You have your views at the top, a section for clicks to your page, a section for driving directions requests, and the newest section, which is all about phone calls. The view section, what's really interesting is Google will show you an all-time total of how many times your page has been viewed, and this number actually shows up on the live page as well. This is a relatively new feature that Google started incorporating. You definitely have to take it with a grain of salt. The numbers sometimes can be skewed and they change based on when a page was upgraded to the full Google Plus experience, for example. But it's definitely a good metric to gauge, especially if you're comparing yourself to your competitors and that kind of stuff. In the views section, you can break it down into time slots of 30 days, or you can pull it back as far as 90 days. And Google will actually let you break it out into finer detail. So you can see, out of all these views that I received in the last 90 days, about 8,500 came from regular search views. 0 came from post views, so that would be items that I posted to my social stream. How many people actually saw my profile itself? And how many people saw the photos that are on my listing, whether it's directly on the listing or perhaps they found a photo that was pulled into Google Images or another medium. The next section is all about clicks. And clicks refer to, in this case, Google breaks it down to 3 different sections. They look at clicks to your website. So this would be clicks, if someone lands on your Google Plus local page, then clicks through to your website. Or if somebody finds you in the search results and clicks through to your website even before getting to your Google Plus local page. They break it down into driving directions. And the newest feature that Google has started incorporating is a phone call feature. And I'll get into that in a little more detail at the bottom here. Again, you can break this out into a 7, 30, or 90-day view. Unfortunately, Google doesn't currently go any further back than that, and it's something we've definitely sent requests to Google to try and have them update this, because it would certainly be useful if we could go back further in time. This particular business, there currently isn't any driving direction requests, but what you would see if this had incorporated some is an actual map of the area where the business is located and the number of driving direction requests. What's really neat is Google recently incorporated a heat map. So you can actually see a heat map based on the intensity of the areas where the driving directions are actually coming from. So it actually gives you a nice visual, but I can definitely tell you that a lot of businesses so far don't have that incorporated, and I believe that is probably because this is a relatively newer feature and it hasn't pulled in enough data yet to support the heat maps in most cases. Again, you can pull this back 7, 30, or 90 days, and a little interesting tidbit about driving directions. What's interesting to know about them is, according to Google, when somebody does a Google search for your business and requests directions directly from your Google Plus local page or your listing on Google Maps, it'll record that. But what it also records is when users request driving directions to your address. So if you're a business that's located in, let's say, a strip mall or an office building that has multiple suites and somebody requests directions to that generic address, there's a good possibility that Google could still pull those in as hits in your dashboard, so it can be slightly misleading. And last but certainly not least, the newest section in the dashboard is all about phone calls. We think this is probably the most significant and best step that Google has taken towards really satisfying business owners and giving them a really good product that we can start to gauge what it's actually doing for them. So in this example here, it's looking at the last 4 weeks, and it breaks it down by day of the week. And if you hover over each column, you can see how many phone calls the business received in that 4-week period on those specific days. What's important to note is these phone calls are tallied specifically on smartphones. So every time somebody finds your Google Plus local page on a smartphone and clicks the click to call button directly to your business, that's when it's tallying these click to calls. So it has nothing to do with a desktop computer. It's all about smartphones. And this one can be blown out into the last week, 4 weeks, or 12 weeks, so you can get a better idea of the last 3 months. And for those of you who are analytical, and I would find this pretty useful for any business owner, you can actually switch your filter from day of the week to time of day. So if you wanted to get an idea, let's say in the last 90 days, out of all the people who have clicked to called my business from a mobile device from my Google Plus local page, what time of day were they actually doing this? So in this particular business, you can see the majority of them came around 11 a.m. and there was a bit of a consistency up until about probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then obviously as business hours close down, they tend to die out. So it's really exciting what Google's doing with these new features, and I think over time they are only going to be adding more and more insights that business owners and agencies like ourselves can extract from them. So I'm going to pull it back one screen. And I wanted to mention to everyone, there's a chat box that you should be able to see where if you have a question that pops into your head and you want to type it in there, we can try and answer it as we go along, but at the very least, we can answer them at the end of the presentation. Danielle, did you want to add something about insights or the phone calls feature?
Yeah, so the thing that I love about the Insights feature is the phone calls. If those of you who are fans of or are on our Facebook group, when that came out, you probably saw my ecstatic post going, holy crap, this is the best thing ever. Up until now, it's very, very hard for you guys to track the business coming into your office. You know, so many people call in and they say, we found you online, or we found you here, or they can't remember where they found you. So at the end of the month, when you're thinking, okay, I just spent X amount of dollars, where did that go? This is the best way to do it because we can actually now see how many people called from your Google map listed. And these are people that are searching on Google for things to do and keywords to do with your business or relevant to your business, or even you yourself finding you and then calling you. So I think that out of everything Google's done in the last year, this would be the one that I would give them a group hug for.
The other very useful section that exists within the GMB dashboard is the reviews dashboard. And what we love about it is it incorporates not just your Google reviews, but Google's also pulling in reviews from around the web. So you can get an idea of, at least in Google's mind, which sites that have reviews for your business it considers to be important. So let's just jump in here. We'll click on Manage Reviews. And there's two different sections. There's an inbox where it has all your Google reviews. And from here, you can check them out. You can read them. You can reply to them. You can filter by star rating if you wanted to at a glance see your top rated versus your lower rated. You can also hover over each person that left you the review if you wanted to reach out to them personally, or we have some other tactics where you can share the review and plus them so they see that you've responded to their review. So that's kind of neat. And then if we scroll down to the bottom, below the Google reviews, you'll see all the reviews that Google's associating with your business. So for this one, we've got some from Super Pages, Insider Pages, Yahoo, Merchant Circle, and it goes back 5 different pages. And from here, you can see the rating. Again, you can filter them, and there's a direct link. So if you wanted to actually get to the Super Pages listing to respond to the review or just to read it with a little more context, you can do that. Scrolling back up to the top, they also have a section they call Analytics for your reviews. And this just gives you some data on your total number of reviews, your total number of reviews from around the web, a little bit of a breakdown of where they came from, and then your overall star rating, which is an interesting one. Google bases the star ratings on many different factors, and I'm sure some of you may have noticed before that you have all 5-star reviews on your page, but Google's factoring in a 4.8 or a 4.9 average. The reason behind that, or at least one of the main reasons, is that Google factors in reviews from around the web when they're actually calculating your Google review, plus a bunch of other factors, of course. So that's one of the reasons why you'll see a discrepancy sometimes. And in here, it's kind of neat because you can see your overall average rating that Google's seeing from your reviews from around the web. The last section is the Google Plus Share section. And the best way to think of this is in the same context you would as your Facebook page when you share items. You can simply post the comments. You can attach photos. You can link to blog posts or articles that you think are really interesting, or maybe something you wrote that you want to share with your followers. You can add YouTube videos. You can schedule events, whether it be business related or not. And the newest feature they have, which is really neat, is a polling feature where you can create a custom poll based on anything you want, really. We did one at Halloween that was based on what are your favorite Halloween scary movies. So you can add a nice photo here of whatever your topic is. And I believe you can add up to 5 different multiple choice answers. And then you can send out this to all your followers. And it's kind of neat because you can get a percentage based on who picked what and reshare the answers. It's really interesting. Those are the main components of the GMB dashboard. I know that was a pretty quick run through, but I definitely hope that everyone was able to at least grab one or two things from that they didn't know previously. I can certainly say that Google is constantly adding new things. They're coming out with some new features in the next couple months that will make this dashboard even better. And that's just Google. They're constantly testing things, constantly making things better, adding, taking away. Danielle, before I get into the last part I wanted to go over, did you want to add anything in regards to the dashboard?
No. I think that you've covered everything that I would like to see. Does anybody have any questions for Colan on the dashboard? I know I've received a couple emails. At the end of this call, we'll show you where to go and who to email to be able to get your login. But was everything clear for everybody there? Yeah? Okay, great. Great.
So the last thing I wanted to go over real quick, because I find this ties in at least somewhat with what we were just talking about as far as the activity that your listing gets, and it's not all just about ranking, let's say, on the first page of the main Google search, but there are other places. So for example, there is a Google Plus Local app that people can add to their smartphones. I believe all Android devices come with them pre-installed. And of course, as you can see by my screen, it's a feature you can use on desktop as well. So this is just one other place where people can actually and are starting to search for businesses a lot more than they were before. And it's a slightly different search results. The ranking algorithms are pretty much lined up, but the way the information is presented is a little different. So as an example, if I was to search for let's say Allstate agents in Toronto, you'll see we've still got a similar result in the sense that it gives you a list of results for different businesses. One clear difference here is you'll notice on the main search results page, you at the very most will see 7 Google Plus Local results. If you're searching in the actual Google Plus Local search feature, as you can see, there's much more than 7. So the user has the opportunity to do a lot more browsing. And then, so this is probably the best place that I wanted to show you. The other place, which definitely isn't as common, but for people who are avid Google Plus users, which a lot of people are starting to become, there is a regular Google Plus type search. So if I wanted to search for, let's say, Allstate Insurance through just a regular Google Plus search, initially it's going to present me with probably a lot more information that I need. Under this tab, it's referred to as everything. So they're showing me posts that Allstate has made. They're showing me people and pages that I could potentially follow. But if I go over one tab, it's got a specific section for people and pages. So it's going to show me, according to this particular ranking algorithm, which is slightly different from the main search results page, all the different pages to do with Allstate Insurance, whether they're local pages, brand pages, personal Google Plus pages. So it's one other place where users can find your business, and also another place where us, as a local SEO team, is doing our due diligence to make sure that we're optimizing, covering all these different places. So I'm just going to jump to our last slide here, and then give me one moment. There we go. So Danielle, I'll let you take it away for this slide.
Great. So, question here, we have one from the agents. What is the process to merge 2 pages that are basically duplicated, but each have reviews? My company created one for me, and now there are 2 out there. Wow, this is a very, very, very common problem that we have, and I'll let Colan answer that one for you.
Sure. The answer is it definitely depends on the specific situation. There's different kinds of duplicates, different ways to report them, different things that you can try to do to help with the merging process. But essentially at the end of the day, it all comes down to, and what we use as a team the most often is using Google's phone support to talk to a live Google rep to help facilitate the process. If we can't get it accomplished that way, there's the Google My Business forum where sometimes we'll post there and get it in front of the eyes of top contributors or Google management. So there's many different ways to go down the road, but depending on the situation, it would really depend.
Perfect. Cool. And the agent who asked that, Colin can reach out to you directly after this phone call and shoot you an email so that they can discuss your particular situation with you, one-on-one. So anybody who's interested in obtaining their logins, please email this email address. We created it all so that we didn't have our phones ringing off the hook and we couldn't answer everybody's phone calls at once. And we can provide that for you. If you're not already joined our Free Marketing Help for Small Business Owners Facebook group, let me know and I can send you over the link, or it's right there on the screen if you guys want to write it down. It's super long though. By doing that, you can post all day long. Anytime you have any questions, Colin and I respond to things directly, as well as Joy Hawkins, our product consultant for a company who's also Google top contributor. Jenny Glendenning is on there. She does her social media. So if you have social media questions, she can help you with that. And then as well, Chris Walker, who's our sales manager, is also on there, and he can answer any questions that you might have about your accounts or help you out too as well. And that's it for today, unless there's any other questions. Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you guys attending the call today. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you, everyone.